Hey, you guys, welcome back to the Solux Life podcast. Super excited about our guest today. We have Elijah John, aka Elijah the Insurance Plug. Thank you so much for coming on the Solux Life podcast. How are you?
I'm doing blessed. How are you doing?
I'm amazing. Happy to be alive, better than I deserve, to be honest.
Absolutely, that's facts.
Yeah, so just get right into it. Tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, where you're currently located. How did you get into insurance?
Absolutely. So I'm 28 years old, originally from New York, but I live in Atlanta, Georgia. For life insurance, I'm licensed in multiple states. What's got me into this industry was I went to college for marketing at Kennesaw State University. That's why I graduated 4 years there. I also did 2.5 years at Art Institute of Atlanta, so I have like a art creative background as well.
Oh,
Um, but um, I have a marketing background. I always wanted to do something where I utilize my degree, as well as I have an accounting background as well. My full time job is bookkeeping as well, so that keeps me busy as well. Um, so ultimately, I'm doing what I love to do, and that's my passion, which is sales, helping people out with using life insurance solutions and educating them about the ins and outs. But just outside of life insurance, I'm licensed to sell all insurance needs. So, auto, home, life, boat, disability, you name it. I educate people all about insurance.
oh, that's interesting to know. So as far as like the life insurance piece, I know like we're at the age where a lot of people aren't thinking about it, but this is the perfect age to kind of get into it and to get some policies going, especially if you have kids. You want to make sure your family is set up in your absence. So can you kind of touch on that, like the importance of having life insurance?
Absolutely. The importance of having life insurance, starting that plan at a younger age is very important. Three reasons why: you cost of insurance is going to be less expensive, insurability is going to be easier to get you insured, and if you get a permanent life insurance policy that has the cash value factor to it, then you can start that early, and you have a much bigger threshold at of taking advantage of like indexing the markets and getting profits, like just getting a return on your investment as well. So once again, locking in at a lower rate is what I recommend instead of being 50, 60 years old, uh,
With health
having
problems.
with health problems, feeling regretful. Man, I should have started this in my 20s or 30s when I was
Mhm.
healthier, and it was going to cost me like, let's say, $35 a month. So I always tell people that.
Yeah, that's when I got in a few years ago, actually around COVID. So at that point, you didn't have to go in and do like the physical exam. I was like, oh, I'm good. Like we can just do this over the phone. They requested some stuff from my doctor, I believe. And I was
Yes.
good to go. But for those that are just completely oblivious about obtaining insurance, kind of walk us through the steps of getting started. What does that look like for someone that may be interested?
So for the people that's interested in getting a plan set up for them, I always recommend contacting an agent like myself. If they want somebody that is closer to their area, that's perfectly fine. You can find a local agent in your area. Just make sure that they work with a reputable company. They have good ethics because in this industry, I'm not gonna lie, you have a big income potential, so you can make a lot of money. And there's a lot of agents out here that sell poorly designed policies, and they just don't do right by their customers or clients. Um,
Mm.
there's a lot of greedy people in this world. So I'm sure you experienced that with like real estate markets as well. But um, to just directly answer your question, anybody that is interested in getting a life insurance policy, reach out to me. I can help you get that set up. Um, I'm not sure if people can see like the at here, but that's my handle on TikTok and Instagram.
Yes, he is at Elijah, the insurance plug. Make sure you guys go follow him, check him out, ask him any questions that you may have directly. I'm sure he will be happy to answer them. So, first up, definitely contacting that agent. So, kind of what happens after that? Kind of walk us through that. Once we pick our policy, then what?
So while we're in the picking of the policy, the right plan for you, it's a free consultation. Typically takes like 30 minutes to an hour. I just ask you some basic questions, gathering like your age, your gender, height, weight. I ask you if you have like a criminal background or record or any medical conditions, if you take any prescription medications. I have a quoting software that I can get a quote for you in just like 2 minutes just by inputting those parameters in. And this quoting software will give me prices for various products, and they're all products that don't require a medical exam. So that being said, if I tell you it's $60 a month, you're cool with that for like let's say $300,000 of coverage for like a 20 or 30-year term policy, you're good with that. Then the next step would be to fill out the application, which takes about 30 to 45 minutes, sometimes less if I already know all those answers and stuff like that.
Mm. Yeah, so in the event someone is on prescription meds or they do have to do a medical exam, what are some things that I would say you guys look for or would affect the policy regarding that? Is it certain medical conditions, certain medicines that could affect one's policy?
So I'm a broker, so I'm licensed with around at least 30 different companies. Each company is lenient with certain types of conditions or medication. For example, Foresters, they're lenient with people who have diabetes and take medication for that. Another carrier, for example, just hypothetically, Ethos, they're lenient and take a lot of people. So, like I said, I'm a broker. No matter what kind of condition you have, I can get you insured. And then it depends on like the monthly budget that you're willing to contribute to that policy each month.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and so for the people that don't know, can you have more than one insurance policy?
Absolutely. You can always stack insurance policies. Some carriers only limit, let's say, a $500,000 limit per person. So if you wanted like $1 million, like right now, I have a client. He wants $1 million of coverage. He has a $450,000 term policy with American Amicable, and they have a $500,000 cap. So I'm having to shop around just to give him like that extra $550,000 of coverage. But he wants another 450K term policy and then like a 150K IUL
So what's an
to reach that.
IUL?
So an IUL is an index universal life policy, and I'm glad you asked. So to keep it short and basic, it's a life insurance policy, but it's a two for one. It's a life insurance policy and an investment policy. So pretty much you put money into the policy, like let's say $100 a month, and a small portion of that is paying the cost of insurance and the fees, and then the remainder is going towards building that cash value account. And with that cash value account, you have the opportunity to pull money out of your life insurance policy, which is called the infinite banking strategy. And you can use that money in the form of a loan or just straight a withdrawal to pay for like a vacation, pay for debts, anything you need to get paid for. Like uh, most recently, a lot of people have you heard about Usher?
What about Usher? What are you doing?
So a lot of people they use the money in the cash value accounts to pay for the Usher's tickets and go to this concert.
Really?
And absolutely. So I'm not exactly sure how much those costs of the tickets are, but they
Right?
probably
Like they
range
were
from
that
at least
much?
200, 1,000, a couple $1,000s. You know what I'm saying? So that cash value is very important and good to have on your policy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think a lot of people, when they hear insurance, they think, oh, that's money that's not accessible until I pass away and it's going to go to my kids or my family. But they don't know that you can, pull cash out of particular policies. So, can you kind of explain the difference? What would you say is the best policy for someone that may be listening? What would you advise them to get in terms of life insurance?
So in terms of like the best policy, I can't just blatantly say that because I would need to know certain parameters on my client, like their age, gender is irrelevant, but their medical conditions to first see what they qualify for. After I find out their eligibility, then we can go on talk about budget, like what is their monthly contribution, how much do they want to put into the policy, because with a universal life or a IUL or some certain forms of whole life policies, you can design that policy to have to meet certain goals and needs. First goal would be life insurance coverage. Second goal could be um, you want to max fund or overfund that policy so you get the least amount of life insurance coverage amount possible, and you're maximizing taking advantage of building that cash value account. So we call that overfunded policies, and that's
Mhm.
important to make sure you contact and work with the right agent, because there's a lot of agents in this industry that are just untrained poorly, and they don't set these policies up properly. So that being said, there's another reason why people get life insurance pretty much, and um, there's final expense as well.
Mhm. Yeah, I know you keep mentioning it's important that you work with the right agent. So if we're shopping for an agent, what are some questions that we should be asking to determine whether or not they're a good agent or if they're gonna look out for our best interests?
Some typical questions you would want to ask that potential agent is like, what are their good ethics? What ask them like, what would be their response in like a certain given situation, or you can ask them like, how long have they been in this industry? What team do they work with? Um, and those are just some basic questions, but you just got to go about it. Take each day by day and see. Take your experience by experience, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, one goal of the Solux Life podcast is just to help people elevate in all aspects of life. So, I am a real estate agent and you do insurance. Okay, you kind of tell me how life insurance correlates when it comes to real estate, buying a house, or having a current mortgage?
Absolutely. So a lot of people purchase homes with a mortgage, and that mortgage is like, let's say, $500,000. And like, let's just say the scenario is uh, a couple, husband and wife, both of them contribute equally to that household. So what I would do is I would design a policy, a total of $500,000 of coverage, split that two ways. So husband gets 250K, wife gets 250K. It would be like a term policy at 20 or 30 years policy. But the importance of it is the term policies are mainly designed for income protection, and then I'm sorry, income replacement and mortgage protection.
Mm-hmm.
So the number one question I always ask my clients is, do you have a plan in place if, God forbid, there was a disaster that was to happen? Would you not want your family to be secure and be able to live in that beautiful home of yours that I know you worked very hard to get? And their answer is always yes. So I set them up with a term policy and go on from there.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people think about the long-term goal. Um,
No, they don't.
Yeah, we have to realize, God promises us three scores and ten. We're not going to be here forever. So,
Right.
and I think what really opened my eyes for me was when I had kids. My life wasn't about me anymore. It was more so about them, making sure they're taken care of in my absence. I want them to be straight. So I just had to, do what I had to do. So if you're listening and you are a parent, even if you're not, but if you're planning on becoming a parent one day, I would highly suggest you get with someone, specifically Elijah, to help you with your insurance needs, because you just never know what's going to happen. People are getting out of here left and right. And you just never know when your day is going to come. And you want to make sure you're covered so your family isn't setting up a GoFundMe for your funeral expenses. So,
Absolutely. And how many GoFundMe accounts do you actually see reach their goal or pay out?
right, not a lot,
Very
because I
small.
click on I click on them to see, like, let me see if they made their goal or not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
it's just sad to see, because it's like, man, I see some people all the time that I could have helped that they did not come to me because they were lazy, or they just chose not to for whatever reason. And I could have set them up like a disability policy that would have protected at least 60% of their income and make sure that they can stay in the house and make sure their bills are paid. But unfortunately, that did not happen, and that happens a lot more than I like.
Yeah, and that's why I'm happy you're on the podcast because we do love to educate and to inform because a lot of people honestly just genuinely don't know. A lot of times in our communities, we don't have exposure to knowledge when it comes to insurance and things of that nature compared to other races and other communities that, hey, they saw their granddad pass away. They had cashed out on a life insurance, policy. And we don't see that
Exactly.
often in the Black community, like just being honest. It's
Yep.
typically us that are asking for donations when someone passes away. So you want to make sure that your steps are covered in these.
100%. I always tell people make sure you have a plan in place. And I just wanted to piggyback on what you said about the Black community. So that's one reason why I wanted to get into the financial services industry. My father, he's a CPA in his own firm, so he preaches this all the time. But ultimately, for me, I want to help bridge the wealth gap in our
Mm,
community, help educate people in our community, Black, brown, race, honestly doesn't matter, but just educate folks as many as I can and help protect as many people I can using life insurance solutions through wealth planning, wealth building, tax-free retirement, and all of the above.
absolutely. You have to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you really don't know where you're going. And you just don't want to be
100%.
out there lost trying to figure it
Exactly.
out when something happens. You don't want to wait until you get sick and be like, oh shoot, let me try to go get a insurance policy because they told me I have cancer and there's no telling what's gonna happen. I'm sure
Yeah.
your rate is gonna be through the roof at that point. So you kind of want to jump on
Yeah.
that while you're in good health.
Yeah.
That's
And then also to add to that cancer topic, another good reason to get life insurance policies is some policies come with living benefits. So, for example, critical illness, if you get diagnosed with that, like yeah, cancer, stroke, heart attack, AIDS, and there's a list of that diagnosis, conditions that fit those criteria. Pretty much your life insurance policy will pay you to help pay for the treatment versus a health insurance policy won't pay you.
mm,
Hmm.
that's the gem. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
know.
the question is do you want your life insurance policy to pay you? Who doesn't want money?
Right? Y'all know y'all want some money out there.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So, kind of shifting gears. So, for someone that may be listening and saying, "Hey, I may want to get into selling insurance," can you kind of tell us what that looks like? Becoming an insurance agent.
Absolutely. So, for anybody that's interested in becoming a life insurance agent, you can reach out to me and then I'll walk you through the steps. Pretty much, you would need to pass your state exam, first study for the coursework. You buy like um, let's say Kaplan or Excel. I have a discount code for those, so contact me about that. Um, and you just pretty much pay $20 to get access to that course material. You study, 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 pass the practice exams, then you schedule your state exam. You pass that. Then once you get um, then once you get your license, then we can get you set up and get you acquainted with various um, companies or carriers, get you contracted that way. So if you
Hmm.
want to be contracted with Kansas City Life, Mutual of Omaha, Ethos, Prosperity Life Group, American Amicable, list goes on, work with me.
Yeah. So, just so we're clear, he is willing to accept people under him, help you guys, get started if becoming an insurance agent is one of your goals.
Yes. But I would like to just highlight I don't take just anybody to join my team. I always look for the right talented individuals that have the same goal set and mindset as me because I want people who are hungry, who are motivated, and who can motivate themselves if times are tough. Um,
Mm-hmm.
as well as people who can um, do their own homework sometimes. So overall, I'm just looking for the right talented individuals to join my team and grow from there.
Yeah. How big is your team now?
So Right now, I have about 5 agents underneath me.
Mhm.
Um, I'm associated with several IMOs, but my biggest one is called Experior Financial Group. They're a Canadian company, so I'm able to sell life insurance in Canada, uh, uh, United States, and Puerto Rico as well. But I have 5 people underneath me, and I told my upline that like I was looking to start recruiting people probably a good 2 3 years in this industry once I mastered everything. But
Mhm.
people just one day I posted on my story. It was like if anybody is interested in wanting to learn about life insurance and help people and make another earn another stream of revenue, reach out to me. And I got referrals left and right. So the Lord keep blessing me each day, and I just wanted to use my platform and help others as well, help them make extra money and help people as well.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I feel like God blesses us so we can be a blessing to other people.
One
He
hundred
doesn't
percent.
bless us so we can be stingy with it. And so we can go out there and allow others to experience the fruits of our labor. So I love that. Um, Anything else you want to share about life insurance? Any fun facts? Anything we should know?
So any fun facts? So keep it real, insurance is not fun. A lot of people say, but depending on who your agent is, it can make it fun, make your experience fun. So every call I'm on with a client, whether a phone call, Zoom call, or in-person meeting, I'm always cracking jokes, making them laugh, making them feel good. Um, just overall having them like helping them have a great experience. So my customer service is A1, A plus plus.
Yeah, so for those that are listening, so at what age do you suggest like you should definitely have a policy in place by what age?
I would say having a policy at really any age is best because, like let's say you're a parent now and you have a 2 year old daughter, you can get like a children's whole life policy for a 2 year old. Let's say $50,000 of coverage whole life, and you're paying like $20 a month or
And
$15 a
y'all
month.
y'all spend $20 on a lot of stuff I hear that y'all just throw
Exactly.
away.
Exactly. You go to Taco Bell, spend like let's say $15 on just like 3 tacos and like a dessert there, the meal. $15 to the boss your life insurance policy, permanent life insurance, so $15 a month for that person until age 100 or 120, and it's generating cash value as well. So
Yeah, you have to look
really,
at the bigger picture.
yeah. So to just answer your question more directly, any age is good to get a life insurance policy. But once again, the younger you are, healthier you are, easier. Cost of insurance is less expensive.
Mhm. Yeah, so I would suggest each of you kind of come up with that number, that dollar amount, so they can come to you and say like, "Hey, Elijah, I do want insurance, but I only want to pay no more than like $50 a month." So, are you able to help work around costs?
Yeah, so there's several ways that I can work around. So we can work around the budget aspect, your needs aspect, because what I do is with my in the consultation is I go over a needs based analysis. So I'll ask you questions like, what's your income levels? What's your expense and debt levels looking at? Do you have children? Do you anticipate paying for their college expenses? Then after I get that basic information, my software, I just click OK or continue, and it spits back like a recommended coverage amount that you should have. So we'll work based off of that, and of course around your available budget.
Mhm. So, question, I know someone mentioned, I don't know how we got on the subject, but can life insurance policies be transferred? Like, say, for instance, I took out a policy on a person. Um, am I able to transfer that like to their kids? Because that was actually the situation. Like, a mother took out a policy on her son, but she wanted to transfer the policy to her grandson after
Yeah,
his employment.
you can transfer ownership of the policy.
Mhm.
So some people they set up like a trust, and then the trust is the owner of the policy, and then the trust would be the beneficiary of the policy as well. Um, One reason people do that is if they have multiple children, they eliminate the um, opportunity or having to sit down and splitting the policy this way, or it just eliminates the children from fighting and arguing,
Mhm.
because when it deals with a lot of money, people people tend to be greedy, and money can
Mhm.
change people.
Especially money that's not there.
Exactly. From that.
They feel entitled
Exactly.
to. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why. So you suggest setting up a trust and making the trust the
Yes.
beneficiary of the policy.
Yeah, you can go about doing that route if you want. Like I said, if you have multiple children and you don't want them to argue and fight, bicker and fight over the money, so the trust will just dictate who gets what, and things like that.
Yeah, so if there is no trust, the money just goes to the beneficiary that's on the policy, right? Or does
Correct. Yeah. And with certain companies, you can set up multiple beneficiaries. Like one of my clients, he and his girlfriend, they have four children, two sets of twins. So on one policy, what I did was I just split it four ways evenly, 25% per child.
Mhm.
And then another carrier, for example, they did not allow um, four different beneficiaries. So I recommended him to set up a trust, and we'll set up the beneficiary as the trust. We'll set up the trust as the beneficiary.
Mm, got it. Yeah, that's interesting. It was something I was just about to ask you. It slipped my mind while you were saying that. Oh, where was I going with this? Y'all forgive me. Mm, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. So, as far as the ages of your beneficiaries, do you suggest, if someone suggests to me, making sure you have someone like over the age of 18, like if you have young kids, and if I were to pass away today, my kids wouldn't get the money, would they? Like how does that work if they're under the age of 18?
So in certain states, it's different. I believe in Georgia, um, the guidelines is like the beneficiary has to be a certain age before they can directly receive the funds, or it
Mm,
just differs by company. Like when I was working at State Farm, the mom wanted to set her 6 year old up as the beneficiary. I believe I had to add like a person that was over the age of 16 to the beneficiary. And then we kept the son as the second beneficiary. But
mm,
what would happen is, well, that company, they would the death benefit would be placed like in an account where the name of the account would be that John, who's 21 years old, and then the child would have access to it once they turn age 16 or 18.
mm,
Hmm.
got it.
So it just varies on company and by state.
Got it. Yeah, so that's a question to ask y'all's agent. Like, hey, in the event I pass before my kids are 18 or 16 or however old, what would that look like for them as far as them getting that money? So just want to make sure your bases are covered.
100%.
We want to make sure y'all are straight out there. So
Yes.
can they contact you? So for people that are listening, how can they get in contact you on social media? What's your website? All of that.
So for people interested in reaching out to me right now, they can contact me on TikTok and Instagram. My at is Elijah the Insurance Plug. My personal cell phone number is 770-940-9579. So you can shoot me a text, give me a call as well, and We can just go on from there. I don't want to take like all my emails and all that other ways, but we're just going from there.
Absolutely. If you guys are listening to the podcast, I will put all that information in the description below so you can just contact him very easily. Such a great person. So happy to have had you on the Soul Lux Life podcast. Is there anything else that you want to share with us?
Honestly, it's been a blessing for having me on this platform, and once again, thank you, Kristen. Um, I do have a couple questions for you, and just pretty much, I want to know like how's your experience and journey been in the real estate industry?
Yeah, the journey has been an interesting one. I got in 2020. That was when COVID hit. So it's very different now from what it was then. We know when COVID was going on, the interest rates were super low and the market was booming. But I've had to adjust over the years. So it's kind of one of those things, you got to put God in your business because He's going to
Yeah,
send you the clients. He's going to give you the faith to keep going when you want to give up. So it's been a journey, but it's been a good one so far. It's helping me to kind of step out of my comfort zone. I'm such an introvert, not on social media, but like in real life, I'm an introvert. So if y'all see me out, like I'm not just going to come up to you and start talking. But real estate has taught me to kind of get out of that comfort zone, to kind of put myself out there and just kind of tell people what I do. So it's been a blessing. I love it. I love the journey.
that's I love to hear that, and I just want to piggyback on what you said. I used to be shy to go up and talk to people, especially when I was younger. I was in the club. I was like, man, she pretty, man, she pretty. But I would be scared to like, I'll probably say like 50, damn, she's pretty, and probably only go up to talk to two people. But now
Hmm.
I have the confidence to go up and talk to whomever. Um, the last networking event I was at had several people who thought that I was like one of the hosts, just because like my elevator pitch was perfect, my confidence level was perfect, the way I was communicating and reflecting the energy out of me, and just how I delivered the content and what I was saying was just, I want to say perfect, but it was really good, and
Yeah, kind of
I
give us an
impressed a
example
lot
of
of
that
people.
elevator pitch. Give us an example. We need to hear the elevator pitch.
Right, right. So I have several versions of this, but I'll give you this one. So hey, my name is Elijah John. I'm a licensed life insurance broker. I'm independent. I focus on with my clients is wealth planning, tax-free retirement, and I help every individual with life insurance solutions, whether that's pure life insurance, living benefits, or disability, or just having cash value life insurance. Whatever you need, I got it.
Yeah, that's a good
That's a
one.
little bit longer. That's a little bit longer
Yeah.
than what I normally say, but I just added some fluff in there.
Cool. So I would say definitely if you guys are listening and struggling with that, kind of practice you a pitch to go up and talk to people. Because honestly, that's been
Yep.
one of my goals this year on my goal list. I was like, I'm going to go to more networking events and network more. And honestly, I still haven't done it, but the year isn't over yet, and I'm gonna get out there and do it.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
And
what would you say some of your goals are over the next like 5, 10 years?
I already got that written down on my spreadsheet. So pretty much 2025, which is 3, 4 months from now, I have like a certain annual production goal for in terms of sales and production. And then I have a goal of adding, let's say, 5 more agents underneath my team. Like I said, I've already smashed that and uh, for achieve that faster, much faster than I anticipated. But I have a goal for like my production, my recruiting goals, uh, and just helping out as many people as I can. Um,
Love it.
and I guess ultimate goal 5 years, 10 years ago, 5 to 10 years from now, I would like to be married and have my own office and brick and mortar things like that.
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna follow up in 5 to 10 years to see if you've hit those goals. So,
Absolutely.
y'all be on the lookout. Make sure you subscribe to the Soul Lux Life podcast. Make sure you get in contact with Elijah. And it's been a great show. Thanks for coming on.
Once again, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.